Good day, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm. The boys just moved the cows up on this hill, and we got pretty good snow last night. It covered up all of our forage. And so we've got about 40 acres up here in front of us. We brought the cows backwards. So this has already been grazed off, and so there's nothing underneath this snow for them to trample. And so we got a really nice clean surface here today. And the animals are doing good up here on this dinner plate. That's what it is. It's a great big white dinner plate. And everything's getting fed. So we put out 3 bales. They were 1,200 pound net wrap bales, and kind of spread it out all over the snow. And that way all the cows can get after it. And folks, and when you put hay like that up on that deep of snow, I mean, it's 4 or 5 inches deep. They're not going to waste very much of it. They're going to waste some. But if you lay it down on mud, they're going to waste probably 50 to 60% of it. But I would guess today, they're probably not going to waste over 10% of this. They're going to eat it. Because the snow is, kind of like it just, even if they walk on it, it's still going to be showing in the snow. You see the cows are doing well. We're still getting some snow. I think they're saying maybe possibly another 1 to 2 inches. And we had the little bale and roller out here. We did get down to 8 degrees. Here a couple of days ago, and so we've got some frost now in the ground, which is just worth a lot. Having the ground froze, it's the first time all winter it's been froze enough where you don't leave ruts. But even with it froze like that, you got to be careful. I wouldn't want to bring a truck out here, four-wheel drive truck. You'd probably still leave ruts. And matter of fact, one of the boys did that, and he buried it the other day, trying to get a bale back here. But bale and roller, that's the way to go. ATV, you don't have a lot of weight and you can get around. But you can see all the cows, man. They're going after it. We had them on a 10-acre paddock last night up there on the hill. It was all fescue, and they were grazing in there. But then the snow came. We'll go back to grazing. We're supposed to get it to 48 degrees on Monday, and this is Friday. So we're hoping to lose about half of this snow. And if we do, the forage is going to be sticking out of the snow, then we're good to go. We found out if the forage is sticking out of the snow, that's another thing. When you have grass sticking out of the snow, that is a solar collector. It produces heat. And if you have the grass beneath the snow, all of it, there's no solar collector there to melt the snow. So the taller the forage is and you get snow on it and it's sticking out of the snow, it's going to melt off a lot faster. So that's a big plus. Snow's pretty on all the trees this morning, but just makes it a little bit more harder to get around, and just makes it tougher on the animals too. But it's not cold out here. I think they're saying supposed to get up to maybe 34 today. So we're not going to get much melting today. But we'll get some. It's coming. We're going to get some heat. But just got back from Tucson on Wednesday, and we got smacked with this. So it was 70 degrees in Tucson, and it's, what was it? Got down to 26 last night. So a little bit different weather. But man, I can smell the hay. It's pretty good hay. It's got some fescue in it, but it's got a lot of other stuff in it too. There's some orchard grass. I did see some lespedeza. There's a little bit of clover in it. You name it, it's in here. It's just kind of a mixture of everything. And what the cows are doing, they're going through and they're picking the very best. They're just selecting out the candy. And as the day goes along, they'll come back and then they'll start grazing the candy wrapper. Look at that calf. He's got a big old mouthful. That's a pretty nice calf there, a little bull calf. The snow's not showing any sign of slowing down. It's just continuing to come down. And we'll see how much we get. But the cattle look good. They look real good. I'm doing a farm tour today with a young man from Illinois. And he came with us this morning. He came in the herd, and the first thing he said is that there's no mud. There's absolutely no mud on these animals. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool, isn't it? So the hides on these animals, folks, you know, you can keep the hides on your animals without any mud frozen in their hair. Golly, they stay warm. And they don't require as much forage. The more mud that gets stuck in the hair of the animals, the more forage is required to keep them warm. That's because they can't stay warm because their insulating mechanism, their hide, you just coated it down in mud. Not a good thing to do at all. There's a nice young bull. She'll make a good one in another year or so. There's another, well, that's a good one. Another good bull. But everything, even the little dairy heifer over there, she's got her buddy with, that's another dairy heifer right next to him. They're always next to each other. And that's because these beef animals, they pick on them. And so they stay together. Those two are always together for protection. They back each other up, kind of. There's a pretty nice. But look how dark he is. I like that dark. Very tight sheath on that bull. Good hair coat. No mud. Just a nice little thick ass on him. There's a steer. Pretty good steer there too. That's when they'll be processed probably in June, July. He's right at 900 pounds now. He's going to be finishing around 1,000 maybe, somewhere in there. He's got a good ass on him though. Look at this steer. Look at the ass on him. Pictures never do it justice, but well, he's got a good ass. You like to see an ass on him. Good thick butt, lots of fat on that tail head. He's doing good. See, he looks kind of rough this morning with his hair all wet, but it doesn't have any mud on it. No mud. There ain't mud on anything in here. So the animals can take cold weather. People say, what do you do for shelter? Well, first thing we do is we don't get mud on them. Okay? These cows will be on this paddock today. There's some cedars down in there. They can get behind those cedars if they want to. They can even get underneath them, lay down, whatever. But we don't have any shelter. Animals went for thousands of years without shelter. The animals that need shelter have been culled. And those would be animals that had maybe too much ear on them, like a little bit of Brahma influence. I started out years ago. I had a few cows that had Brahma, had some ear. You can't bring those through a winter. They don't do well in cold weather. You need to get them out of there. So you got to get animals that are selected to your environment. So the function of an animal is to perform into which environment it was born into. Okay? And it's up to you to select those animals. Select the animals that perform on your farm and get rid of the ones that don't. If you keep doing that, you'd be surprised what your herd's going to look like in 5 to 10 years. You're going to have a well-adapted herd to your farm. That's what you're going to have. So this is Greg Judy. I'm going to sign off here. The snow's getting thicker, and I want to go look at what these cows did up on this hill before we moved them in here with the snowstorm. I bet they did some grazing. This is Greg signing off. Everyone have a great day.